And the number one priority from our standpoint is the health and safety of the American people. Because of all we've done, the risk to the American people remains very low.
Moments ago, President Trump held a news conference to address growing concerns about the potential spread of coronavirus in the United States.
The president tried to reassure Americans that the government is ready to respond as needed and named Vice President Mike Pence as the point person leading that response. CBS 4's Skyler Henry joins us now live from the White House with more on what the president had to say. Skyler.
Rudabeh, Elliott, good evening to you. Yeah, as you mentioned, Vice President Mike Pence will lead this coronavirus task force, so to speak. What we also know is that several other officials here, including members of the CDC, are here. This press conference is still going on as we speak right now as they continue to answer reporters' questions on just how serious this coronavirus is. But the Trump administration has said or tried to ease some of the fears about the severity of the coronavirus, at least here in the United States. He said that there's only been 15 reported cases so far, and just so I have the numbers here, 8 of the people who have contracted the virus are already back at home. 1 person is in the hospital, and the president said that 5 are fully recovered. And he actually brought up statistics about the common flu and said that more people have died from the flu.
The flu in our country kills from 25,000 people to 69,000 people a year. That was shocking to me. And so far, if you look at what we have with the 15 people, and they're recovering, one is pretty sick, but hopefully will recover. But the others are in great shape. But think of that, 25,000 to 69,000. Over the last 10 years, we've lost 360,000. These are people that have died from the flu.
But on the global front here, you have to think about this. 80,000 cases of the coronavirus worldwide. We've learned that there have been new cases reported in Brazil, Georgia, the country, Norway as well. There's also been a travel advisory to Italy, which has received 350 cases of the coronavirus thus far. We also know that there is now kind of a push and pull in terms of how much funding is going to be requested in terms of how Americans will respond to the coronavirus. The Trump administration has asked for $2.5 billion. That will go towards medical equipment, particularly face masks as well. We also heard from Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who's asked for $8.5 billion in terms of dealing with this coronavirus outbreak. So I think officials and lawmakers are trying to figure out just how much money is appropriate in order to deal with the crisis. But President Trump reiterating today that the issue is not as severe here in the country as it is in other parts of the world. Elliott, Rudabeh.
Skyler, thank you very much. And as lawmakers on Capitol Hill continue to express concern about the administration's preparedness and ability to handle a coronavirus outbreak in the United States, Florida Senator Marco Rubio is urging calm.
He says it's inevitable that there will be more cases in this country, but is confident we'll be able to handle it.
Keep an eye on other countries near us that have poor health care systems like Venezuela and Haiti and countries in Central America. If there's an outbreak there, it's going to be potentially catastrophic for them, but it'll have an impact on us. So it's not a time to panic, but it is a time to take it seriously and get it right.